Record.
Hey, welcome to the Monday vlog. I'm super excited today. See, he's waving already. So excited to see you guys. I am talking to the magnificent Keith Leon today, and we got some good stuff for you, especially with book people today. So Keith Leon is a multi-best-selling author. I almost couldn't get that out, like multi-best-selling author. Try to say that 5 times. And owns a successful publishing company, and he's a book mentor. He's well known as the book guy with his wife, Maura, who's just lovely, by the way. I'm adding to this as I go along when I'm reading it. Keith co-authored the book called 7 Steps to Successful Relationships. And the acclaimed best-selling authors John Gray and Terry Cole Whitaker and Keith co-authored the international bestseller, Who Do You Think You Are? Discover the Purpose of Your Life, with a foreword done by Chicken Soup for the Soul's Jack Canfield. Keith has appeared on many popular radio and TV broadcasts, and his work has been covered by Inc. magazine, LA Weekly, The Huffington Post, 60s magazine, just to name a few. My gosh, you're so popular, I don't even know why you're here. No, I'm just kidding. He's spoken at events that include Jack Canfield, Neil Donald Walsh, Barbara DeAngelis, John Gray, Michael Beckwith, and Marianne Williamson. Keith's passion is teaching people how to go from that first thought to a bestseller and to create what he calls the world's greatest business card. And so please help me welcome Keith Leon.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
This is an awesome intro. You know, when we did a Facebook Live, it was one of the most watched Facebook Lives in my group. People really enjoyed you. And I love hearing about how you have a process where you write books with people from the heart. So I love that about what you're doing, because for so many of us, it's hard to get that analytical piece out of it when we write with our head, and it just doesn't connect people. I mean, I know me, rarely my brain even connects with me, so how in the world would I expect it to connect with other people? So I have some questions for you today, if you are up for it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how did you get the name The Book Guy?
Well, you know, the book that changed my life completely was the second book that I did. It's called Who Do You Think You Are? Discover the Purpose of Your Life. That was an international bestseller. And I went from, you know, Keith Who to all of a sudden being on the big stage, right? From speaking to 20 people to speaking to 1,000 people, from being only able to get local press to being able to get national media. And so I found myself on the big stage after that book came out, and I'm speaking about life purpose, which is the topic of the book. But you know, every speaker starts at the very beginning with a piece that I call Earn the Right, right? And that's the, you know, why would you listen to me? What have I done? Where have I gone from here to here? So during that story, I told about how I got all these incredible people to be in that book, Who Do You Think You Are? Which was, you know, 10 people from the movie The Secret, and many, many people you would know and your viewers would know were in that book. And so I would do that Earn the Right piece, and then I would go into the life purpose piece, and all these people after the event started coming up to me, and they would say, hey, aren't you that book guy? Hey, aren't you the book guy? Hey, are you the book guy? And so I heard that so many times that I said, I get it. And I went and looked up, and sure enough, the URL was available, and I realized that I was the only person alive that had all of the information about how to create a huge best-selling book from all of the best-selling authors, all of the speakers, all the trainers, all the marketing experts of the world had all taught me everything they knew, and I was the only one that had that. So I literally went from Keith Who to the book guy in 9 months' time, and it was amazing. But it literally was the people that called me the book guy and gave me that name. I just heard it over and over again, and you know, I'm a guy, I have to hear things at least 3 times before I hear it, right? But I heard it way more than 3 times. So
We probably should get your wife on and ask her, huh? No.
Right. Right.
Isn't that funny how, I mean, I know a lot of us online entrepreneurs are such URL junkies, but isn't it funny how, like, you just know something's meant to be when you go and the URL's right there? I had that with
Yeah.
Author Success Academy. I was actually sitting at the class where we were setting up our academies, and I was like, oh, I think the Author Success Academy, but it'll never be available. And then it was like, boom. I was like, I flagged somebody down, and I'm like, did I spell that right? Like,
Right.
Thinking, oh, I must have typed it in wrong if it's available. But that's how you just know.
That's when you know you're supposed to have it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be yours. So
Yeah, I've got some of those where I could not believe that I got it.
I know. And it's crazy now that on GoDaddy, you can actually scoop them up and then what is going on at your home?
Huh?
What is going on at your home?
I guess that was the ice machine.
Okay, cool. So you have a full service publishing company, and you've had it for over 14 years now, which is just incredible because so many of the companies, publishing companies, kind of go in and out of business really quickly. How did that all start, and how did you become one of the huge publishing houses you are now, like you are now?
Well, the first book that we published, we just decided, well, we're doing a book, and we're starting a business. We might as well also do a DBA as a publishing company. And so we did. We started our company, Successful Communications, doing business as Baby Pie Publishing. And so we put the first book out. And if you know my story, the first book did nothing because I had no idea what to do about marketing. I didn't know it was my business card. I didn't know anything. We got John Gray's endorsement on the front cover of our relationship books, so I thought it was just going to fly off the shelves all by itself. But that second book, where I got Jack Canfield to do the forward, and all those mentors took me under their wing and taught me how to create an international bestseller. And because Amazon has the algorithm that says if you like that book, you'll like this one, and if you spend $10 more, you'll get free shipping, right? Everybody was adding the first book to their cart as well. So when Who Do You Think You Are was an international bestseller, so was the first book that we did, because everybody was adding it to their cart. Awesome. So now I have success with 2 books, 2 international bestsellers. Then I was teaching people after I realized that I was the book guy. I started doing classes and teaching people how to write their books. And I had helped so many people, and one of my mentors, Jack Canfield, said, you might want to start thinking about possibly publishing some of those people that you're helping to write their books. And so I thought, I know I can create an international bestseller for myself, but could I do it for someone else? So we took 2 authors that we were working with and created an international bestseller for them. So now we have 4 international bestsellers underneath our logo, right, our stamp. And so I'm speaking again to my mentor, and he says, when you've had success with 4 books, right, and there's going to be more behind it, he's like, you're a publishing company. And that's all it really takes is to have success, right? Success with your imprint, and to be able to do that for other people. And you've already proven that. So I suggest you change, right, some verbiage on your site, and own that and claim that. And so we did. We started just publishing more people. And we're not a vanity publisher, so we don't just publish anything. We publish things where it's a match. We publish books that make a difference. You feel better when you put it down than when you picked it up. That's a prerequisite. Those are the types of books that we do. It's all the cutting edge difference makers of the world. That's who we publish.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So one of the things you shared with me recently is that you can teach authors exactly how to do high-profile posting. And this is so important when we're putting together nonfiction books, that we be able to tap on big names to help us out and write the forwards. I remember somebody I was talking to telling me that she had Brian Tracy write hers, and it made all the difference. And so this kind of stuff, this is like the super secret sauce that nobody really knows about out there. And I asked you if you'd be happy to share it. And you actually said yes, which I thought, oh no, he's just going to say I'm very unhappy. It's my super secret sauce that I'm sharing, I'm keeping for my own clients. But I know, for those of you who are watching this, this is the goal. This is the stuff that nobody out there teaches you how to do. And what's really cool is Keith is going to do something game-changing for you, Dave. He's actually going to teach this to you.
Yeah.
So, Keith, can you share that process with us? I'm really excited.
Absolutely. And, what you said is true. This is typically saved for people that work with us, right? Our people that we published, our authors. And but you asked me, and you're awesome, so I'll share it with your people.
Oh, thank you. You're awesome too.
And so let's see. I want you to know all of my note takers out there, right? You love to take notes and you take them fast and furious. I'm going to go through this kind of fast. And so I just want you to know ahead of time, it's okay to take notes, but know that you are also going to get a link to be able to get a copy of this. So if you take notes and it helps you to write it because you've seen yourself write it while you were hearing me say it, that's fantastic. But know that if I go too fast and you're not keeping up and you throw the pen down and go, I give up, that you are going to get a written copy of what I'm sharing to you right now. And I want to start off by sharing with you that almost every endorsement that you've ever read on a book was most likely written by the author or the editors on the book. And sometimes I hear people say in response to that, so every endorsement that I have ever read means nothing to me now. Right? And so I want to just address that. First of all, I want to reframe that for you before we get into the actual process, because a good endorsement is really only one or two sentences. And there's only so creative that you can be in a sentence or two. So if you provide somebody, and you will, 3 pre-written endorsement quotes, one of those quotes that you send them is going to be exactly what the person would have said anyway. And now you've saved them the time of having to write one, which highly increases your chances of getting a yes to your request. So I hope I'm not bumming anybody out when I tell them that, but standard practice is to provide 3 pre-written quotes and a short excerpt of your book, not the whole book, but we'll get into that. So if it looks like I'm reading a script here, I am, because I'm going to read exactly what you will be getting, right, when you get the PDF that you're going to receive. And so I want to stick to this so that when you go ahead and read it later and you click the link and listen to me go through it again, that it really, really will have landed, and you're going to go, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. And it's really going to have landed. So the first thing you'll do is you're going to click the link and listen to me tell this. But right now, the way that you start when you go to get endorsements is you want to make a list of all the people that you would love to have endorse your book. And I don't want you to limit yourself with this list. If someone's super well known, right, write their name down anyway. Most people in the self-help arena, not hiding, they will be easy to find. Once you've created your list, count how many names that you have on your list and write at least that many endorsement quotes. You're going to pre-write at least that many endorsement quotes. And where was it? Where am I? That's what I get for reading. Write at least that many endorsement quotes. And then I like to write, say, 150% of the amount on my list. So if my list was 20 people, I would write 30 quotes. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. You're going to keep the quotes simple and short. A good quote is 1 to 2 sentences. Short is better in this case, especially for a book cover. Inside the book, 1 to 3 sentences, but on the cover, 1 to 2. That way you're able to get more, and people will actually read them if they're short. If they're longer, all they'll read is the name of the person. That makes sense? If you need any good ideas, let's say you've already written 10 and you're like, I don't have any more of these in me, right? I don't know what to do. Just go grab some of the motivational books or something that's the subject that you've written, right, in the same subject or genre that you've written on your shelf, and read the endorsement quotes on those books. You'll soon find that they are all very similar in nature. And just imagine that now that you've read your book and you loved it, what would you say about your book? How would you give praise to it in the least amount of words. And make this process fun. You know, it really can be fun, especially if you allow it to be. This is a great process, and you're actually going to need these endorsement quotes when it comes time for you to reach out to these people and ask for the endorsements of the book. So as I said earlier, I hope this doesn't disappoint you too much, but I just want to educate you how the process is done in the real world. So the standard practice for getting endorsements is to send an email with your very short, keyword, very short request for endorsement and 3 pre-written endorsement quotes written by you and 1 chapter of your book, your strongest chapter, so that they can get a sense of your writing style and the subject of the book. Now, I have found that this following statement to be the most effective in getting a yes answer from the person that you're requesting the endorsement from. And it goes like this. I have included in this mail 1 chapter of my book and 3 endorsement quotes to choose from. You can either pick one of the provided quotes, change one a bit to personalize it, or write one of your own. So now you have made it very easy for that person that you're making a request to say yes. And matter of fact, some of the people that you'll ask are incredibly busy and they receive many requests for endorsements, and it's all in how you ask that will determine the answer that you'll receive. So what I've shared with you just now is the way to ask. It will generally increase the probability of you receiving a yes answer because you made it so easy for them to say yes. Short and sweet is one of the keys to your success. And here's a valuable tip. This is what I've learned over the years. If you have a preference as to which one of the 3 quotes they choose, put that quote last. I don't know why, but people always choose the 3rd quote. Even me, and I teach that. You just typically want to just pick the last one that we read. And that's the way it goes. All right, so the endorsement quote template. And again, this will be given to you written for my note takers. But if you can keep up, no worries. It goes like this. This is called an endorsement elevator speech, right? It's an elevator email. That's what I call it. And you want it to fit in the size of the window when somebody opens up their email without them having to scroll down. So here's what it will look like. Dear, insert their name, comma. I am writing a book about, put what your subject is about, called, comma, the name of your book, right? Your title and your subtitle. And would love to have your endorsement. I am a big fan of your work. I value your opinion, and I know my readers will as well. Period. New paragraph. I've included in this email 1 chapter of my book, and then in parentheses I put see attached, and 3 endorsement quotes to choose from. And then in parentheses I put see below, and I highlight that in the color, either purple or blue, and bold it so that see below jumps out. And then back to black. You can either pick one of the provided quotes, change one a bit to personalize it, or write one of your own, what I told you earlier. Remember that? Then new paragraph or new line, thanks in advance for saying yes to this request, because you're assuming they're going to say yes. I look forward to your reply. Right underneath that, it says endorsement quote suggestions, underlined and bold. And you're going to make these endorsement quote suggestions and that title the same color as what you did above in the parentheses that says see below. There's something about the brain that when they see below in purple, and then they sometimes just jump straight to the purple and pick one. And they don't even need to read. You can either pick one of the provided quotes, change one of it to personal, or they just jump straight to the purple because their brain takes them there. If they read the rest, now they know that they've arrived to purple, and now it's time to choose a quote, change one a bit to make it their own, or write one of their own as you previously instructed. So it says endorsement quote suggestions, same color as what you put in the parentheses above, and you put 3 short quotes, 1 or 2 sentences. Then your sign off For me, it was blessings, Keith Leon, president, Baby Pie Publishing, baby, and then my website, and then my phone number. Now, everything that I just said up to the sign-off, that's what needs to fit in the window without having to scroll down when someone opens up an email. They don't even have to scroll down. If they want to scroll down and see your name and all that information, that's okay, but it isn't the important part. The important part is to get all of that in the window where people don't have to scroll down. It's like the top third rule on a website, right, Juliet? Mm-hmm. Right? That's what people will actually read. If they feel like they have to scroll down, they might just click out. So everything they need to read is right there in the top without them having to scroll down. Then they scroll down and then, oh, who is it? And then they see who it is. And then they say yes. So you will be provided the script. And here's what I want you to know. This script works perfectly when it's unedited. You have a template. You're just going to fill in those two things where I put a blank, and everything else you're going to keep the same. Every person who's filled it out, the blanks, exactly, and kept it the way that it is, has had a huge level of success. If someone wants you to send more, perhaps, I need more, right? And some will, then they'll ask. Some people will not endorse unless they've read the whole book. Perhaps they'll also want to write their own quote. That's fine. In this case, that's great because it was their idea, not yours. You actually made it so easy for them that they could have just read your instructions or one strong chapter, or they could have thrown a dart or pointed their finger at one, right? You made it that easy for them. And using this template the way that it is, you really get to the person or the decision maker. 7 out of 10 people will say yes to this request as is, right? And then send you a quote back. The key to this, and I'm going to go off script for a second, is follow-up. Right? The key is follow-up. You send the request. If you don't get an immediate reply, you wait one day, and then the next day, you send it again. And I always put resending in the subject line, and at the very top of the page in purple highlighted, resending. And then I wait another day. And if I don't hear back, I send it again with another resending. And I let them know each time, look, this is how many times I've resent it. And then it's down there, right? Just by putting resending. And when I did the Who Do You Think You Are book project, I got all these people to interview in the book. I asked 80 people, I got 68 yeses. And the reason I got that was because of my follow-up. So I just want to tell you right now, you're not being a pain in the you know what until somebody says no, please go away. Right? If they say no, then you say, great, who do you know that would be able to do this? And then if they say no, go away, then anything after that, right? Then you become a nuisance. But anything short of them saying no, go away is called a great follow-up, and it's the difference between you and everyone else. Other people will send an endorsement quote request once, maybe twice, and if they don't hear anything back, they'll just go away. And that's why they don't answer it the first few times in a lot of cases, especially if it's a big ask, not an easy one like this. So once they have chosen one of the quotes, turn back the request, or turn back to them a request for their name and title. Sometimes if I know the person, I go ahead and put it. You know, I put what I think they would want as their name and title right on the endorsement quotes, and they can change it then. You can try and see which one of those works best for you. But for the sake of what I've written here, you know, once you get the quote, then turn it back and say, hey, great. Here's the name and title, right? Go to their website, put together their name and title the way that you think they like it. And if they're an author, maybe find a quote they've already done for one of the books, right? And see what their name and book title was on that. That's probably the standard one that they want. If they're not an author, go to their website, read their bio. Usually a bio will start off something like, this person is a this and a this, and it's written 12 best-selling books, right? Or this person's the creator and founder of this organization, or the dean of this college, or the chief of staff at this hospital. You get the picture. You just provide the quote that they chose, added to or rewrote themselves with their name and title after, and then ask for approval for the whole thing. And if you've not already nailed it, then trust me, they'll tweak it and send it back to you the way that they want it. Next, I want to share a bonus template with you. And this is that email ask letter that I just told you to use, right? And it's what got me the interviews with those 63 rock stars in my best-selling book, Who Do You Think You Are? Discover the Purpose of Your Life. So I want to tell you like the formula of what that letter consists of. So after you've created your list of endorsers, people that are going to endorse your book, you went and you found their contact information, and you, like I said, you can usually find everything on their website. If they only have an office number, call it, right? Ask for the assistant or the person that you're going to reach and ask them for their email address. So this is introduce yourself and tell them that you'll be sending an email shortly, and you want to make sure that it finds the right mailbox, right? That's one way to follow up. Talk to the person and tell them that you're sending the request. Then next you'll create that elevator email, right? That's the email where everything is in the window without having to scroll down. And so to break it down in the elements that I use is first, subject line, a catchy subject title. Mine was request for the next, interview request for the next bestseller. And I heard it over and over again. It made them go like, wait, what's that? I want to know what the next bestseller is, right? and they want to interview me? Wait, what's that about? And so they opened it up. In the very beginning, I put the, dear so-and-so, right? And who I am and where we met and why I was contacting them. And you can put what you're doing, like who's involved, name drop if you're able to. So I said, I'd love you to endorse my book. I'm a big fan of your work, like I told you. After I started getting people, I said, so far we have endorsements from, and I put Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, John DeMartini, Asraf. That made Joe Vitale say, well, if they're doing it, I want to do it, and so on and so on. And I kept adding and adding and adding. And if you're able to drop names, awesome, right? Then your request, and then what's in it for them, and what is the benefit for everyone if they choose to participate, and how quickly and easy it'll be for them to participate. This is for interviews. If you want to interview people, you can tell them you'll set up a conference room to record, and you're just going to ask them 3 questions, and it'll be 10 minutes. You're in and you're out. And if you make that promise, then you have to keep that promise. And that's why I think that I got a yes to these people mentoring me. Truly, that was because I remember John Asraf at the end. I said, "Okay, great, thanks. We'll be back to you with the edited, transcript and for you to review." And he was like, "Wait, what?" I said, "What?" He said, "Oh my, someone actually kept their promise, right? That was like less than 10 minutes, and you didn't try to tell me how great I was or try to get anything from me." He's like, "This is amazing, someone that actually keeps their word." And then later, when I met him in person, I was like, "Hey, Keith Leon from Who Do You Think You Are?" And he was like, "Oh, this is the guy that actually kept his word." And he literally said that to his assistant. And so this one thing can make a difference, right? You say something, you keep your word. The next part is how you'd be honored by their participation. And so this bonus is actually the interview ask letter. If you want to interview people, that's what I just told you about. So again, a catchy subject line, who you are, where you met. So if you met them at their event, or you met them at some other event, you can drop that, why you're contacting them. So I'd love to interview you for my book, or I'd love to interview you for my radio show, or whatever. What you're doing, who's involved, if you're able to drop names, what the request is, what's in it for them. If you're on my show and you sell something, you can keep everything, right? What's the benefit for everyone if they choose to participate? If you're talking to the right person, that'll be how quick and easy it'll be. I always use those words, easy or quick, and then I keep my word on that, and how honored you'd be by their participation. Then you put the information below, and hopefully they can see everything without having to scroll down, right? And so again, in what you're going to get that's written, it says interview ask template, and it has an exact example of this. So this is how I got people to say yes to interviewing with me. This one was Joe Vitale. It said, Dear Joe, my name's Keith Leon. We haven't met yet. I'm a big fan of your work. I'm looking forward to meeting you really soon. The reason for my email is I am creating an incredible book and would love to include you and your words of inspiration in the book. Let me tell you quickly, remember I said I love that word, quickly about it. It's called Who Do You Think You Are? Discover the Purpose of Your Life. This book uses a series of 3 questions to uncover the inspirational stories of successful people and how they were put in their path. This book is to help people discover their purpose in life and see how people are not so different than those who have already had success. It will be done in the Chicken Soup for the Soul format, meaning short stories. Here are just a few of the people who said yes so far. By the time I wrote to Joe Vitale, I got to say this: Jack Canfield, John Ashraf, John DeMartini, John Gray, Hale Dwoskin, Bob Proctor, Rudy Rudiger, Stuart Emery, Mark Thompson, Bill Bartman, Christine Comerford, Terry Cole Whitaker, Rhonda Britton, Craig Shoemaker, Greg Scott Reed, Scott Evans, Armin Moran, Debbie Allen, and Patricia Strain. If you know any of those people, that's like, wow, are you kidding me? No wonder he said yes. So, and then I put ... meaning I'm going to fill in your name next. Right? I'm requesting 1 phone interview with you, and I'll ask just 3 questions. It only takes 10 minutes to do the interview. I've set up a conference line where I can do the interview and transcribe it at a later time. Will you participate in this inspirational book project? We sure would love to have you on board. Many powerful blessings. And then my name was down below, right, where they had to scroll to get to it. Keith Leon, President, Baby Pie Publishing website, and then my phone number. Whew, so that's a bonus for you, how to get that interview with the people that you would love to interview. So take time to create this letter. The letter means everything to your project's success. And if you're contacting this person by phone, you can use your letter as your script to keep you on track, to keep your call brief. People who are successful, they don't typically have a lot of time to spend on the phone hearing somebody kind of drone on and on and on about their project. And that's one of the things that I teach all of my students, and I love to teach all of our authors, is like, you know, how to ask when you want somebody of influence to help you. And droning on and on is not the way to ask. And believe me, I learned that the hard way. I was that guy. But I've learned to laser things and do what I call right asking now. And when you ask in the right way and you make it so easy for them to say yes, you increase the odds of getting a yes. So I want to repeat the short endorsement letter that I covered earlier. This way, when you need to do it and you pull up the audio and you're following along with the script, you're going to say, oh, I remember this. All right. So you start by creating that catchy title for your request, such as endorsement request for the next huge best-selling book. Add the word huge if you want. Right? Make it sound like, oh, I've got to open this. I want to read this. Sample endorsement quote request. You're going to cut and paste and fill in your info. Oh yeah. Oh, so before you do that, if you've written before you paste this into the email, this is what I learned. Fill it out ahead of time. Craft the whole thing ahead of time, and then when you're ready, cut and paste it in. And then the last thing you want to put is the email address to the person. Because the first few times I was doing it right within the email, and I was writing and I was tweaking it, and I was say like halfway done, and then somehow it actually sent. And it sent to the person before I was completed. So cut and paste it, fill in the information, and then put it in at the very end. So again, it's dear, whoever you're asking, I'm writing a book about the subject of your book called, name of your book, and would love to have your endorsement. I am a big fan of your work. I value your opinion, and I know my readers will as well. Wouldn't you feel good if you read that? I've included in this email 1 chapter of my book, see attached, in parentheses, bold, and 3 endorsement quotes to choose from, see below, highlighted, bold, and a color. Purple or blue would be my suggestion. You can either pick one of the provided quotes, change one a bit to personalize it, or write one of your own. Easy peasy, right? Thanks in advance for saying yes to this request. I look forward to your reply. Assume the yes. Why not? You know they're going to say yes. Thanks in advance for saying yes. Now I'm like, oh, I kind of have to say yes to this, and I don't even know why. NLP. I look forward to your reply. Endorsement quote suggestions. Same color as parentheses above that said see below, and the 3 endorsement quotes. Either just the quotes, or if you feel like you know what their title would be, go ahead and add those to the quotes. So the skill that I have just taught you will serve you and your business for years to come. Once you have reached a point where it's time for you to get those endorsements for your book, you make your list, you write your ask letter, and you send, if you want, you can send it to me. Right? You can send it to me to have a look at it before you send it out. If there's anything I see that's like red flag, you didn't stick to the script or whatever, I'll make a tweak and I'll send it back to you. I know it by heart. It takes me a second to do that for you. And that's what I'll do because you were on this call with us. And you may also want to ask me for an endorsement for the book. And if you do that, I will want to see it this way. I also want you to know that people who I know, my mentors, dear friends of mine, who may be the people that you want to get an endorsement quote from, if you send this exact template to them, they will recognize where you got it. And that's going to really highly increase your yes factor. So I'll just tell you that right now, and when you stick to it. I had one person who talked to me, and they said they wanted to hire me, and they kind of like got as much information as they could from me and didn't hire me. And then they took what they thought I had said about this template and they crafted their own, and they sent it to somebody really famous that you would know. And their office actually called me and said, is this one of your students? Because it seems like they're trying to ask in your way, but it's not the template. Do you know them? And they said, because we would say yes if we knew that it was coming from you, but we wanted to check. First of all, I was blown away because with this specific person, I didn't know they would automatically say yes just because it came from one of my students. So I was like, yay for that. And good news for the person was I really felt that the person they had asked really would love the book and was a match for the book. So I said, no, not a student of mine. No, didn't hire me. And I still think it's a fit. So say yes. And so they did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So quickly, I'd like to take this time to share with you that our company, Leon Smith Publishing, also You Speak It Publishing, which Juliet was talking about earlier, and Baby Pie Publishing, we provide, each step that you would need to get your mission and your message out to the world. And we take people from first thought to bestseller and work with Juliet to make sure that you are a rock star and you get the word out, right? So when you're ready, let us know. If you want to ask me for an endorsement or just get it tweaked before you send it out, then feel free to send that to me. You can either, let me see, what's a good address I can. This is going up online, right? We won't write it, so I'll just say it. so info@babypiepublishing.com. info@babypiepublishing.com. Send it to me there, and I'm happy to tweak that for you and send it back.
That is so awesome. Thank you. And by the way, he also is a member of this group where you're seeing this at. If you are a member of the platform building for coaches, authors, coaches, speakers, and small business entrepreneurs, this is inside. He's inside the group. And if you tag him, he'd probably love to answer questions for you and, and help you out. Now, Keith and I actually, we mentioned this on the Facebook Live. We met and oh my God, he's like this big huggy teddy bear. I just immediately liked him. His wife is such a sweetheart, but that's neither here nor there, but we just really resonated. And we have lots of packages that we can put together for you guys as well. What he does so well is ghostwriting and publishing, and we have platform building. But you can see just from what he taught you there, he has a lot of tips and tricks up his sleeve as well that are beyond platform building. So if you reach out to either one of us if you're ready to build a platform and write your book and get all this together, because he truly has an amazing way of pulling the book out of you in a way that that will connect with your reader instead of just being a book. It's a great business card. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And if you guys look right down below this interview, we are going to have a link where you can grab that PDF. And also, there's a small audio with it as well, isn't there, Keith?
Yeah, right at the top of the PDF, there's a link that you'll click, and then you'll listen to the audio as you read it through again.
So he went through a lot of stuff here today, and I got to tell you, that was super impressive too. So if you didn't get it all, don't worry. It's down in that PDF below, and the audio is right in the PDF, so you'll get it all again. And I'm assuming your contact information is on there as well, Keith?
Yeah, down at the bottom, and it also tells them about the You Speak It book processes, which you were talking about. It's similar to ghostwriting, but a completely different process, where you literally just show up to 7 phone calls, and then those 7 phone calls we can get the information that we need to create a book for you. And it also talks about a free webinar where I talk specifically about that, and then also the strategy call, so that they can connect and share with me about their book, and we can see how we can support that.
Yeah, we got to come up with a different name for that than ghostwriting, don't we? Like heart ghosting, or I don't know. That's really cool. I am not the cool name girl.
It's the You Speak It book process. 7 phone calls, and we have everything we need to get a book done for you.
I just tried to make it much harder than it really is, which is pretty typical. All right, thank you so much, you guys. Again, you can get a hold of him within the platform building group. And when you see this, you will see the link right down below. You can contact him directly. And thank you so much. This was fabulous info.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. See you soon.
Take care, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.